Murtala, how are you doing?
I'm great, so yourself?
I'm doing very well.
Nice.
We've gone through that. Let's start from what happened yesterday before we get into what is expected to happen in court today. Now, mentioning NAM1, I think we should start from there.
Sure.
Yesterday in the morning, we're discussing what was expected to happen in court later in the day, with the judge having to make a ruling on whether there was a submission of no case for NAM1 to answer or not. What happened?
Yes, so yesterday, Justice Inusa Dapa, in fact, when the judge was about to start with the decision of the court, everybody was wondering what was going to happen. Then he indicated that the ruling is 110 pages, and that fact that he's going to read everything, then you anticipate a very long day. But for over 3 hours, we were sitting with Justice Inusa Dapa to hear his ruling on the submission of no case filed by lawyers of NAM1. In fact, even if they did not file, the court will still have to make a determination of same. So Justice Inusa Dapa gave background about the case, witnesses that were called by the prosecution, and gave background also about each of the counts. There are 39 of them. Took them one after the other and came to a determination. The first count, which has to do with selling gold without license, the court said yes, prosecution has made a case for NAM1 to answer. Then the court moved on to the second point, operating a deposit-taking business without license. Also, the court found that there was a prima facie. Prosecution have proven that there's a case for NAM1 to answer. Then one of the interesting counts or charges, inducement to invest. The court made the point that yes, NAM1 used celebrities to, as it were, to influence the public to be able to invest in men's gold when they knew that they didn't, it appears that they didn't have the license to do so. Then in all that, out of the 39, you have 22 counts of defrauding by false pretenses. And that one, prosecution backed down. They abandoned 3 of them because they felt that those victims were unavailable to assist in prosecuting those counts. So they have to abandon it. So they reduced it to 18. On all those remaining 18 counts of defrauding by false pretenses, Justice Inusa Dapa indicated that prosecution has made a case against NAM1. Then, fraudulent breach of trust, 7 counts of them, all of them, the court held that prosecution proved the case, their witnesses were able to prove it. Then the last count, also 7 counts of money laundering. The court said if you look at defrauding by false pretenses and all other counts that happened, if you put them together, clearly the court will want to hear from NAM1 in relation to virtually all the counts. So if you put them together, 36 counts out of the 39, the court has ordered Nana Appiah Mensah and Men's Gold Ghana Limited, then Brew Marketing Consult, the first, second, and third accused persons to open their defense. So in effect, what Justice Inusa Dapa, Justice of the Court of Appeal, was sitting with additional responsibility as a High Court judge, is saying that on 23rd of July, NAM1 should come to court. There will be a mini case management conference, and a date will be given NAM1 to open his defense to the charges that have been leveled against him. But of course, for the first time in court, NAM1 himself, Nana Appiah Mensah, has been speaking and said, look, he disagrees with the decision of the court. He will see his lawyers and consider a redress.
We thank the Republic for creating an enabling environment for us to be able to, go through the legal, process. Right? We thank the security services for the securities you have provided from then till now. I mean, it's been 6 years. So today, yes, we had some acquittal, we had some gains, so we had some acquittal. And then I would say a huge chunk of it has been dismissed, which is fine. We disagree, we very much disagree. But it is worthy of note that the disagreement does not in any way erode our confidence in the judiciary and then the courts. Yeah, so I mean, I would speak with the defense legal team, and then we would consider and then explore all necessary rights to redress, under the parameters of rule of law. So, I mean, it's a win for Ghana, it's a win for rule of law. We have always maintained that we are not guilty, and we still stand by that. And listening to the lengthy ruling, certain keywords were very, essential, and they were like consistent. So, for example, there were words like presumption, we presume, it appears, it looks like, it seems. What that tells me is that it's just like, viewing it from on the face value, right? And not necessarily going into the fact of the matter. So I wouldn't also want to go into the merit or the demerit of the matter, because this is just the prima facie, which is like looking at it on the face value. So, well, it could be a mirage, and this is just one, person sitting down looking at it. So yeah, once we disagree, the law permits that we can always take it to, an appellate court or the legal remedies under, a legal dispensation can be exercised. And so we would go back to the drawing table, in an attempt to defend ourselves, and then to affirm and then get a court to proclaim our innocence to the whole world. We would explore all the legal remedies, under, the law.
So that is Nana Appiah Mensah.
Many are saying that he's becoming very, he's bloating.
Oh, well, that's for those who know.
You have known him for...
I haven't seen his entire body structure, so I can't
probably
really tell.
might be from the cameras and all
Probably,
that. Yes.
but I haven't
put on
seen
some
him.
weight.
I haven't seen him in many years, so I won't be able to tell.
He's been coming to court, so I particularly know that
he's put on some weight. Okay.
Yes.
What are you by that saying? That life is good or what?
Oh, no, really. Okay. Not exactly.
Not exactly so. Okay.
In life, everybody will go through one stage or the other. Maybe the thinking initially has come down and all that. Today, there's been another angle of the thing for him to look at. But of course, he's been saying that, look, the case in courts, he would have been able to refund the money or pay the customers in question. By initiating criminal proceedings, have made the case very difficult, and he welcomes civil action to be able to pay whoever is involved. Let's hear NAM1 in relation to this leg of his argument.
We think that it is not like, I read in a session of the media that says that we are afraid to open. No, nobody's afraid. From 6 years, 7 years, we have been here. All right, we have subjected ourselves as law-abiding citizens to, what the law says. All through from the circuit court now to the high court. So yes, but of course, the law permits us to exhaust, certain our right of redress, and it is for us to waive that right or exercise it. So yeah, we'll go. I cannot, decisively stand here and then say that we are going to do that, but I have to speak to my lawyers, and then we can come to that conclusion or otherwise.
So I presume that the last 6-7 years have been very challenging.
So when it becomes, if we exhaust all the legal remedies, of redress, and it becomes inevitable, right? It becomes inevitable that we need to open the defense. Why not? We are law-abiding citizens. We are subjects of the state. We are not above the state. We are humble citizens, all right? So we'll gladly, enthusiastically open the defense. And then all of you would hear what I have to say with respect to the charges that has been labeled. But as it stands right now, we are not guilty.
All right.
And that is instructive and very commanding.
Tell me how challenging the past 6-7 years have been for you. People clamoring here, saying that you've defrauded them and all of that. How challenging has it been?
It's been very painfully challenging. But of course, we leave that to what doesn't break you makes you stronger. And I'm a believer, whatever God doesn't permit doesn't happen. So it's fine, it's very fine. I'm not a person that complains. Anybody who knows me will tell you, I don't believe in complaints, right? I embrace whatever comes to me. I hold a challenge and I try to make the most out of it. So that's precisely what we're going to do. In terms of payment, we are very happy. We've been constrained. Every company has liabilities. Companies lose money all the time, right? So it breaks our heart that people have had to suffer this unintended consequences. It breaks our heart, right? But we are before a criminal court. And if you know what the criminal court establishment is about, it is not remedial court. It is a punitive court, a punitive and by extension a reformative court, right? So you come before a criminal court, you're not here to remedial, you're not here to remedy a situation by way of coming to pay debt. You are here, it is you against the state. So if they find you culpable, a punishment or a punitive sanction is imposed. So we are very happy. We want to exhaust this. Once we, by the grace of God and our firm belief in God Almighty, once we're able to exhaust this, then I believe we can, the state may decide to go to the civil court. And at that point, we'll be happy to, make the necessary payment, discharge our payment, obligations to our customers.
All right. So that's another one from
NAM1. So yesterday, for the first time after the court has ordered him to open his defense, he's saying that, look, he will see his lawyers and they'll see what they can do in relation to that. So he's back in court 23rd of July.
Okay. One more do we have?
So yesterday, the ambulance case was on. So when this NAM1 was happening, the ambulance case was on. And once,
simultaneously.
absolutely, Justice Ifiasewa Sariboche yesterday sounded a caution to the parties, to Mr. Jakpa, to the lawyers and all that. You notice that anytime this case happens, there's always a comment, there's always an interview in relation to that. The judge said virtually everybody who have made a comment one way or the other have crossed the red line. And so the court will not sit down aloof and watch that happen again. So from yesterday, anybody, any lawyer, any accused person who will grant interview, who will go public with the case in court, the court will strike the rod. So yesterday, Justice Ifiasewa made it clear that if you try anything, the court will deal with. The journalists can report their stories and all that. As far as they also do not cross the red line, the court will not have a problem. But parties, Justice Ifiasewa said, no, not again this time, because we are all, the court need to protect the country and the security of the nation. So yesterday, he was supposed to call his witness. It didn't happen. The case has been adjourned to the 18th of July for continuation.
Right. Okay. What is expected to happen today?
So today, Benchmark, the case with so many witnesses and all that, 61 of them, we're expecting the 20th witness today to testify before Justice Ifiasewa Sariboche. So that is one of the things that we expect today. And other cases, of course, that will come up. The issue of the OBS scandal is also lurking around. Normally, he's been heard Thursdays and Fridays. So we expect that case also before Justice Henry Anthony Kofi, the Justice of the Supreme Court, to deal with this very issue.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Murtala
Inusa is our court correspondent. We call him Captain. We'll see you, God willing, Monday.